I've had my Chase Sapphire Preferred for over 6 months now. And throughout that time, I've been able to experience a lot of what the credit card has to offer. From my first impressions to hitting the initial welcome offer, to using the Chase travel portal and even transferring out my points to some of their transfer partners, I feel like I've gotten a lot of value from the card. And I am here today to share my experiences with you guys. So let's get right into it. Let's first talk about what this credit card even is, because it's really nice. The Chase Sapphire Preferred is considered by many people to be a mid-tier travel credit card in the Chase ecosystem. Spending with the card earns you Chase Ultimate Rewards points, which you can use for cashback at a 1 cent per point ratio, which is nice. And you can use in the Chase travel portal at an elevated 25% boost on your initial value. And I'll get into why that is a big deal later on in this video. Holding the Chase Sapphire Preferred, or any Sapphire card for that matter, also allows you to transfer out your Chase Ultimate Rewards points to Chase's transfer partners, potentially even getting you better rates and more value on your points. The card comes with an annual fee of $95, which is offset by a $50 annual hotel credit when you use it to book hotels through the Chase travel portal. And it also typically offers you a welcome bonus of earning 60,000 Chase Ultimate Rewards points after spending only $4,000 within the first 3 months of the account opening. With that though, I'd be on the lookout for any sort of elevated welcome offers, because oftentimes Chase likes to throw around either 75,000 or 80,000 Ultimate Rewards points for the same amount of spending. These elevated welcome offers can be found in branch, oftentimes in the mail, or just to the general public. On the topic of that spending though, you do get yourself some decent multipliers for, of course, spending with the card. You'll earn yourself 5x back if you book travel through the Chase travel portal, whether that be airfare, hotels, or car rentals. You'll earn yourself 3x back on dining, online groceries, and popular streaming services when you use this card for those. And then you also get yourself 2x Chase Ultimate Rewards points on any general travel, which doesn't include gas for some reason. These spending categories are pretty decent on their own, but some people actually might expect more, considering the fact that some other cards like the Capital One Savor 1, or now the Capital One Savor, earns you that same 3x back on dining and on groceries without the limitation of only being online and popular streaming services. And that card doesn't cost anything to hold. So comparing these cards might seem like the Sapphire Preferred may be ripping you off, and that might not necessarily be true. Before we get into that though, I would really appreciate if you guys do hit that subscribe button if you are getting any value from these videos. Everything that I do say in these videos are from my own personal genuine experiences, and a lot of time gets put into them in what little free time that I do have. So I do appreciate the support. As I stated before though, the Chase Sapphire Preferred doesn't just earn those points and then use those points at a typical 1-to-1 ratio. When you use those Chase Ultimate Rewards points earned on this card in the Chase travel portal, you do get that elevated 25% increase on the initial value of those points, essentially making all of those earning categories worth 25% more than they normally are, if you were to, of course, use them for travel, that is. So back to the example comparing the Savor 1 to this card, yes, they both earn 3x back on dining, but that 3x back on dining on the Chase Sapphire Preferred is a little bit more valuable. And honestly, I like to bring this card out a little bit more when it comes to dining, just because, feels nicer, looks a little bit nicer. And again, on that topic of dining, that's exactly what I use this card mainly for. Still to this day, it is my dedicated dining card whenever I go out to restaurants. And while I do believe that the card could use some more categories to fill in some gaps in some major areas, the card still has gotten me lots of value for what I have been using it for. And actually, to fill in some of the gaps that the card doesn't earn on its own, you can actually supplement that with other cards within the Chase ecosystem that also earn you Chase Ultimate Rewards points, such as the Freedom Unlimited or the Freedom Flex. Doing this exact setup is what makes up the well-popular, well-known Chase Trifecta, consisting of course, the Freedom cards and the Sapphire Preferred in this case. And this exact setup is actually what I typically have in my wallet here. Usually I have the Sapphire Preferred in the front with all the logos lining up. And with this exact setup, I've actually earned myself over 120,000 Chase Ultimate Rewards points within the last year. And while yes, a lot of that is from the initial welcome bonus on each of the cards, it still really can't be discounted that in less than a year you get yourself that many points. And of course, the more points that you have, the more valuable that 25% bonus on those points actually is. So let's actually get into how I've been able to get so much value from the card not just talking about numbers and points values. Because holding this card again not only earns me a lot of points through what I use it for with my natural spending, it also allows me to elevate the value of my other Chase cards that I've already had. Back in October 2024, I actually flew out to Colorado for my girlfriend's sister's wedding. And on a side note, the venue itself was absolutely stunning. It was just outside of Denver, which is the airport that we flew to, right above Colorado Springs. The view was insane, the vibes were really, really nice, and yeah, it was a great time. But flying there normally would have costed me a lot of money, and without these points, it might not have been possible to begin with to do what I did, which was not just fly myself there and back, it was also to bring my girlfriend there and back and her younger sister. So that's 3 tickets there and 3 tickets back. And I'll be honest, I did try to look through the different airlines' websites to try to find an elevated offer to be able to transfer out my points through Chase. And it was kind of hard. I didn't really know what I was doing. So what I instead did was fully use the Chase travel portal to book the flights there and back. And the process was really easy, and having the option to get an elevated value on the points through the travel portal is what really makes the Chase ecosystem really easy to use, because the Chase travel portal itself was really simple and easy to use. For the flights themselves, I used 100,000 Chase Ultimate Rewards points. I booked out from Charlotte, my home airport, to Denver International Airport on United Airlines, and on the flight back, of course, Denver back to Charlotte on American Airlines. Now, was this the best, most optimal value on the points? Probably not, but was it easy and simple and really good value still? Yes. This was my first ever flight that I actually booked myself and for more people, and the experience itself went pretty smoothly. And again, since I used 100,000 Chase points, the value was actually 125,000 just because I have the Chase Sapphire Preferred. And notice too, I didn't actually use all of my Chase Ultimate Rewards points just on the flights, hence why I did have to eat that $75 additional charge to pay for the rest of the flights. And that's because I knew that I could actually get a little bit more value from the rest of the points that I did have. That being, of course, to transfer out to Hyatt. For the trip, of course, I didn't have to just fly out there, I had to stay there, and we stayed there from Monday to Friday, so that's 4 nights. And what I ended up doing was transferring 16,000 points from the Chase card, and actually 16,000 points from the Built MasterCard, and having that synergy to transfer both of those out to Hyatt is always nice to have. Totaling, of course, 32,000 points. And then if you divide that by 4, of course, 8,000 points a night, or roughly $80 a night, at the place that we were, which, honestly, it was pretty nice. It was the Hyatt House down in Lakewood, which it was a really walkable area in the little downtown area just outside of the main city of Denver. And we could walk to restaurants, we could walk to shops. The area itself was really nice. We got complimentary breakfast, which I will say was really nice. I looked forward to going down there and getting my coffee, and for some reason, those pancakes were great. And all of that just for 8,000 points per night, where the cash value of that same stay would have been, I believe, around $130, $135 per night instead. I got better value there than if I would have just used the Chase Travel Portal for everything. And having that additional flexibility to use the Chase Travel Portal for a good rate, but still be able to transfer the points out for a better rate, makes this card so much more powerful. And again, I haven't really even been tackling the exact dollar to dollar comparison, or I guess dollar to points comparison, if I were to use cash instead of the points for the flight. And that's because I really value the overall experience more. The fact that it was so easy to fly out there, the fact that I only paid $75 because I would have been paying more than $1,000 for the flights and the stay there, probably upwards of almost $2,000 for the overall trip. And the fact that this card was able to get me those experience when I didn't have that money to begin with really speaks to the ease of use and the value that this ecosystem with Chase really gives most people. My overall experience using the card has been really good. It gets me decent points, and it gives me a great ecosystem. The Chase mobile app is easy to use, the website's easy to use, pulling points from my Freedom cards over to this card is really easy as well. And so that really, in my opinion, is what makes Chase stand above the rest, because you have the flexibility to use the points for cash, to use the points for travel in different ways, all at a better than a 1-to-1 rate. And to sort of wrap up my overall thoughts on the card, it's good. It has decent earning categories, not the best earning categories, but decent earning categories, which is elevated by the, of course, additional 25% boost on the points that you get. And not only does it just elevate the spending on this card, it also lifts up the value of the other Chase cards, working in sync really, really well. The Chase travel portal is smooth. Having the flexibility to transfer out the points to Hyatt is great. And I'm sure there's other transfer partners which can get you lots of value as well. I think for most people, from my experience, the Chase credit card ecosystem is really good, simply just because of how flexible and easy to use their Chase Ultimate Rewards points are. And then of course, supplementing any of those cards with the Chase Sapphire Preferred only takes it just to the next level. So do I plan to keep the card? Yeah. Do you want to apply for the card? I do recommend that you do use a referral link, whether it's your favorite creators, whether it's a family member, whether it's a friend. It supports them at no extra cost to you. And sometimes, I don't know, word on the streets is you can get the better values from referral links and a better approval rate with the referral links as well. But yeah, let me know what your guys' thoughts on the Chase Sapphire Preferred are in the comments below. Do you think it's good? What do you think that you would want changed on there? Of course, I would like to have more earning categories on this card. The actual whole Chase trifecta itself, funnily, doesn't have a gas category, which is a pretty big gap, but you sometimes get it on the Chase Freedom Flex. I think for the average person who travels just here and there, this card is a no-brainer for how easy it is to get lots of value from. Even if you just get the welcome offer within the first year and then maybe cancel it the next, you can get lots of value from the Chase ecosystem, even on just one trip, just like I did. And it definitely has a place in more advanced setups as well. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. And with that, I appreciate you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.